Happy Friday, Brian Manning here with the weekly update. Let's get right to it. So, Monday this week, relatively quiet news day, not a lot to talk about there. But then Tuesday this week, we got some inflation readings. So, this is the CPI. There's two inflation reports that we get every month. CPI is the Consumer Price Index. This is for the month of July. It did show inflation was sticky. I wasn't surprised to see this. The headline number was up 0.2%. Year-over-year number was flat. If we look at the core numbers, so core inflation reading strips out volatile items such as food and energy. This was up 0.3%. And on a year-over-year basis, it went from 2.9% to 3.1%. But one thing I want to point out, and we've talked about this a lot in the past, is that shelter is a very big component of this reading. In fact, very specifically, we look at what's called owner's equivalent of rent. Shelter makes up 1/3 of the reading. So what's owner's equivalent of rent? That's when the US government calls people and they specifically say, how much can you rent your home for unfurnished, no utilities? Now, I don't know about you. I've been in the mortgage industry, which means I've been around real estate for 27 years. If somebody called me today and said, how much can I rent my home for unfurnished without utilities? I have no clue. The number that I'm going to throw out there is purely going to be a guess. So it blows me away that this inflation reading is so highly impacted by owner's equivalent of rent, when if you call majority of people across the country, they have no idea how much their home is going to rent for because we just don't know those details. So here we are, sticky inflation. Maybe one day they'll get this fixed. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Wednesday, quiet news day. Thursday, we get PPI. So PPI stands for the Producer Price Index. So this measures wholesale this measures inflation on a wholesale level. So this is what does it cost to create goods? And then you couldn't always guarantee this, but many times you would see if on a wholesale side, the cost of creating goods has gone up, then a lot of times that passes over into the retail side. So this is a little bit market moving because expectations was that this would be up by 0.2%, and it was up by 0.9%. So almost a 1% increase. So it's a really strong number. Maybe the tariffs are impacting this. I'm not really sure. We're going to have to wait and see if it's an anomaly. Not 100% sure we should give it another month, but it definitely had an impact. When we saw mortgage rates making a general continual nice move lower, then we get this really hot PPI report that showed inflation, and that kind of stopped everything in its tracks. Then today we get retail sales. Retail sales across the country is up. It just blows me away. In the face of a weak labor market, you're still seeing the consumer spend. Also today, we had a lot of Fed speak, and it just shows right now the Federal Reserve is just absolutely in a dilemma. You can just tell that they're not sure what to do. So Federal Reserve has two mandates. So number one is going to be price stability. They got to control inflation. Number two is going to be employment across the country. They need a stable employment market. And when you're looking at these employment reports that are just lousy numbers of 19,000 jobs being created in a month, to me, that just unfortunately does not show a lot of strength in the labor market. But then you see these inflation numbers and you see inflation slowly rising. So now you're kind of seeing that the Federal Reserve's in a predicament and they're not sure what to do. The real signs are going to come here in the near future. Federal Reserve meets in Jackson Hole. This is where usually in their press conference at the end, they set the trend for where the monetary policy is going to go. So without a doubt, when it happens, up here in the near future, it's going to be all eyes on Jackson Hole. Now, Fall Fiesta, oh my gosh, cannot believe we're already talking about fall. Save the day in your calendar, Thursday, November 13th. Super excited. We got some incredible special musical guests. It's going to be an event that we're going to throw, client appreciation, friends, partners, party. We're going to raise money for Community Food Share. They're a local nonprofit in Boulder County to support feeding the county. We're super excited. We'll get the details out. Make sure you save the date. Make sure you RSVP. Thursday, November 13th, 11th annual. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Fall Fiesta. Can't wait to see you there. Happy Friday. Have a great day.